Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin, and we're going to be looking at this retest that we had of the 20-week moving average. So if you guys like the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also please check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So, this 20-week moving average, as we've said for a long time, right? This is a critical area for Bitcoin to hold as support, right? And we had this first test a few weeks ago, right, on this the week of August 31st. We even had a wick slightly below it on the week of September 7th or September 2nd. The next week, we actually did not test it, but we hovered, not too far above it. We were at the lowest point. We were only, a couple percentage points above the 20-week moving average. And you can see yet again, we have a wick exactly down to the 20-week moving average. So this is 4 weeks in a row where we have been hovering just above the 20-week moving average. And if you recall, one of the things we've discussed, right, is the idea of holding the 20-week, but holding it for weeks or months at a time, right? This is what we need in order to really confirm a hypothetical multi-year bull market. And this is exactly what we saw during the last cycle. If for those of you who are new to the channel, we've looked at this this point here where we held the 20-week moving average for roughly 17 weeks or so, somewhere in this ballpark, 17, 18 weeks, where we were essentially at the 20-week. If we actually scroll into exactly where we held it, it's approximately 16 weeks. Okay, so if we were to do a similar type thing, right, then we're looking at another, potentially, right, not history doesn't have to repeat itself, but we're looking again at another 12 weeks near the 20-week. And again, at the risk of being too repetitive, remember that we did come up to this local top that we had previously visited, right? So we came down to the 20-week and then back up to the local top. So when you zoom out, it looks like it's a pretty consistent test of the 20-week. But in between this test of the 20-week, we actually did have a move that went back up to the prior local top, which was approximately a 20 to 25% move back up. And so this again is what we're looking for potentially to play out with Bitcoin this time. And you can see that our prior local top ended up being our next support line, which corresponded with that 20-week moving average. Okay, so this is exactly what happened where we currently are, right? This is exactly what we've seen. Our prior local top, right, this resistance area right here became the bottom, which corresponded to the 20-week, and we've started moving back up. So if we were to repeat, right, we would see a continued move up. Now the thing is I'm going to show something different. So in order to get an idea of what the 20-week is going to do, we need to first look to see where we are with its price history in terms of what could we anticipate the 20-week moving average doing, because you can see that it is starting to level off a bit. Okay, so is it going to continue to level off like this, right? Which means that we just barely need to increase over the next several weeks to stay above it, right? Or is it going to start rapidly moving up? In which case, the price would that would indicate the price currently is moving up rather quickly. So the way we can do that is we first will have to assume that the price essentially stays constant, at least the next week's price. Let's assume that the weekly price stays roughly around 10.5 to 11,000. Then let's take a move back of 20 weeks. Okay, so this is 20 weeks back. Now, if you go 20 weeks back, you can see that the price is more or less just moving sideways, right? The reason it increased so quickly right here was because we were getting rid of weeks over here, right? Every week we were getting rid of one of these weeks and replacing it with a week that had a much higher price. So that's why the 20-week was increasing so quickly. We can see that the 20-week moving average went from approximately $8,200 up to over $10,000 since July 20th. So approximately 2 months, the 20-week moving average increased approximately $2,000, which is pretty significant. Now the rate of change or derivative of the 20-week moving average is starting to level off a bit. And the reason is because we've entered this prior reaccumulation range, right? So this was our prior reaccumulation range. Therefore, the 20-week moving average, instead of it replacing it with weeks down here, is starting to just replace it with weeks here that are not that much different than the current week. So the change here is going to not be as significant. We're still going to, we're still going to slowly move up, but it's not going to be as rapid. Now, what would cause it to start moving up quicker again? Well, first of all, obviously, if the price were to go up in the short term and continue going up, then the 20-week moving average would then start to be pulled back up as well. Another idea, right, is recognizing that 20 weeks ago we were essentially. Let me actually draw a time move here. So 20 weeks ago, we were essentially just starting the accumulation range. Okay, now if we were to take a measured move from this week to, let's say, this week, the end of the accumulation range, it was 11 weeks. Okay, so if we were to extend out where we currently are 11 weeks, then we're looking at the first week of December before the price of Bitcoin, at least the 20-week moving average, is going to completely ignore all this data and start taking, all of the data from here and wherever it goes. So in this situation, right, if the price were to just largely stay constant, then we might not see a noticeable, a significant move up, which even then it wouldn't be that significant if the price were constant, but we might notice a slight move up, early December, right? So this is the general idea, right? The 20-week moving average is not going to be increasing that significantly week to week like it was, because if you remember in the past, it was going up by several $100s essentially every week, and it was just because of how quickly this move down here occurred, like back from March. When we were including these data points every week that we excluded it meant that the 20-week moving average was no longer weighting that in its calculation of what its average price was over the last 20 weeks. Okay, so now the 20-week is not going to be increasing as quickly, right? It's still going to slowly move up, but it's not going to be increasing as quickly as long as we're continuing to stay above it. So again, I would anticipate in terms of a theoretical bull market, I would anticipate us continuing to test this, right? Continuing to test the 20-week. But again, we recognize that in the short term, it's more or less a random walk, right? And it's possible that we come back up to the local top, maybe we come back down to the 20-week, maybe back to the local top. I don't really know, but what I can say, right, is this. There's a good chance that this is our next theoretical accumulation range, right? We were hoping, back over here, that between 11K to 12K was the accumulation range, but we always contend that a test of the 20-week, even during a bull market, is always on the card. So this is the general idea again of two steps forward and then one step back and then continuing on, right? So this is what I would be looking for, right? I mean, we're yesterday we were bearish, and then I was like, okay, well, we're bearish today, we could be bullish tomorrow. Now we're bullish. We could be bearish tomorrow, right? We don't really know. But the point is that Bitcoin is pretty close to the 20-week moving average. If you've never lived through a successful test of the 20-week moving average, like let's say you entered crypto a few months ago, this is what it looks like, right? It's these scary times because we come down to it and it's scary, right? Every single time we come down to it, even though the price is higher, you can kind of feel how the level has shifted, right? Because a few weeks ago, it was 9,800 that had to hold, and then this week it was around 10,150 that needed to hold. And again, we're still in the middle of the week, so I mean, it's possible that we still come down and close below it, but you get the importance of this level, right? If we look at it on the daily time frame, so this is the 140-day moving average, which is the same thing as the 20-week. You can see how critical this level really is in terms of maintaining that bullish momentum, right? As we said, if Bitcoin holds it, then it can quickly turn around, right? It can very quickly turn around and regain that bullish momentum that it had. If it drops below it, then it's not a good thing in the short term, right? We're likely heading down to these other moving averages, right? The 100 week, maybe the 200 week. So holding it, going below it as we did over here and right here, this is really not that great. When we hold it as support, and we continue to hold it as support for weeks/months, and then we break out, right? This would be super bullish for Bitcoin. And then we just, we continue the cycle, right? If this happens, then we identify the next step. It's probably going to be, first of all, we're going to have to get through this 12K. So, if it comes up, maybe it comes up to the 12K level, maybe it comes back down, does something like that. And then eventually maybe we break out. But even when we do break out, the next stepping stone is likely around 14,000. So again, 14,000 is a critical level just because of its prior significance, right? So if we take a line at say 14K and draw it across, you can see that this is where the top was in 2019. And also, let's extend it more. If we switch over to the monthly chart, when you look at the monthly Bitcoin chart, this was the top of the candles. So we had this, this candle here, and then this very bearish, basically same length as the previous candle, momentum shift, right? And these peaked out at 14K. The $20,000 mark was just a wick, okay? So really, when you think about it, 14K is going to be a very major level for Bitcoin to move up past, okay? So 14K, in my opinion, is going to be a very critical level. I anticipate that, it's going to be something that's going to take a little while to conquer. But again, it all leads into that slower, methodical move up, right, to the prior all-time high, which is up here. And again, in order to get there, it's probably going to take, in order to get to 20K, it's probably going to take a while. We first have to break out past 12K, right? So, even if we do hold this as support, we have to get past 12K, go up to 14K, maybe get rejected, and then slowly work our way back up to 20K. And then we can start, our potential parabolic move. So in the meantime, I would say it's just business as usual. The 20 week remains to be where everyone's watching. Like, this is the critical point. And so I think, for the time being, this is the main focus, right? This is the main focus of crypto. Can Bitcoin stay above its 20-week moving average on the weekly time frame, right? We don't care about wicks, but if we see it go below on a wick, then we really need to pay attention, because if it doesn't come back up, then this is likely the bad news bears for Bitcoin and more so for altcoins. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Remember, the prices for the premium list are going up in 4 days. So on September 28th, the prices are going to go up really significantly. So if you want to get access to the premium list before then, make sure you sign up and you'll get grandfathered in at the lower prices. You get access to the private Telegram alerts channel, which is where I put out my candid thoughts on the market on essentially a daily basis. Access to a private Telegram chat room. The risk dashboard, which is what I use to trade the markets, which have been working out very well over the last few months. If you have any questions, just check out the public Telegram channel and you can ask people in there. And you also get access to weekly premium videos and weekly premium reports. And of course, you get access to all the historical ones as well. So if you want to sign up, if you've been thinking about it for a while, but you're not sure if it's the right thing, you can always sign up for 1 month. If it's not your thing, you can cancel, but the prices will be going up on September 28th. So sign up before then if you want to get grandfathered in at the lower price and have this community for at least this market cycle, if that's your goal, or beyond that, because eventually we'll probably pivot to other things as well, not just crypto, right? We talk about crypto because the Sharpe ratio, the risk adjusted returns on crypto right now are rather attractive, but there's going to come a time when they're not going to be so attractive. And then we might pivot to other things. But right now the focus is crypto with a little bit of focus on other markets. And if you do want to pay for, say, 6 or 12 months, you can pay with crypto. And if you pay for 12 months, you get like a 15% discount. So at the very least, subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.